Hello children, good morning to all of you. Welcome back in physics class, and today we are going to start your third chapter, laws of motion. And this chapter will be started from the topic force. We all have studied that force is a push or pull, but now we will see a different definition which is based on the effects of force. Children, there are two main effects of force. The first is force can change the shape or size of an object. And second main effect is force can change the position of the object. Means if a body is in motion, force can stop it. If the body is in rest position, force can make it move. So on the basis of these two effects, we can say that a force is that physical cause which changes or tends to change the shape or size or the state of rest or of motion. A force is that physical cause which changes or tends to change the shape or size or the state of rest or of motion of a body. Of motion of a body. Okay, this is the definition of force. Now if you see the kinds of force, so children, there are many kinds of force, but if you see the point of application, then for the point of view of application, there are two kinds of force. First one is contact force and second one is non-contact force. Now what are these forces? See here, the first one is contact force. The forces which are applied by making a physical contact, with bodies are called contact force. See, the forces which are applied by making a physical contact with body are called contact forces. Just like if we have to push the duster, then we have to touch it. As pen is writing on the board by touching it. So these are the examples of contact forces. See some more examples. The first one is frictional force, normal reaction force, and tension in the string, that means tension force, force in a spring, that is spring force. It is also called restoring force. Forces due to collision. When two objects collide together, they apply the force on each other. That means forces due to collision. Muscular force. These are the examples of contact forces. Now see what are the non-contact force. You are watching that in contact force the bodies are touching each other, then after the force is applied. But in contact, non-contact force, without touching the body or object feels the force by something. Just like gravitational force, when we throw an object in upward direction, the object goes at a certain height and then after it starts returning because of the attraction of the earth. Earth applies the force without touching the body. So that is the non-contact force. Okay. Now how will you define it? If an object experience the force without making a physical contact, without making a physical contact, then the forces are called non-contact forces. Non-contact forces. Here the examples are gravitational force and magnetic force and electrostatic force. Okay, gravitational force, magnetic force and electrostatic force. Now what are these forces? We will see one by one. First till here understood or not? Forces means push or pull, that is a general definition. Here we have studied that force is that physical cause which can change the shape or size or the position of the object. Okay, and then after we studied kinds of force. So there are many kinds of force, but we are going to study those forces which are based on the point of application. For the point of application there are two forces, contact force and non-contact force. Contact force means the forces by making a physical contact. Forces by making a physical contact are called contact forces. That means force can be applied by touching the body. Without touching the body we can't apply the force. Then those forces will be called contact forces. And if without touching the body experience any force, then that is called non-contact force. Okay, now we will see these examples: frictional force, normal reaction force. What are these that we will see here? First we are going to watch the examples of contact forces. So first one is the frictional force. When a body moves on a surface, see, just like this duster is moving on this, then the force which opposes the relative motion of the body, or simply you can understand, when the duster is moving on the board is applying a force on the duster in opposite direction of motion. Duster is going in this direction, then board will apply the force in opposite direction of motion. That force is called frictional force. Just like, suppose this is the surface, here one object is kept. If the force is applied on the body in right hand side, then frictional force will work here. This will be the frictional force. Understood? When an object moves on a surface, then surface applies a force in opposite direction of motion, which is called the frictional force. Okay? Now, second one is normal reaction force. See children, when an object is kept on a surface, suppose this is any surface and one object is kept here. This object has some mass, suppose its mass is m. Then the force will apply a force on the surface, which direction will be downward, and the force applied will be equal to weight of the body. This object will apply the force on the surface, which will be equal to its weight, means equal to mg. But this surface is balancing the object, means the surface is also applying a force on the body, which direction is in the opposite direction of it, and this is called normal reaction force. Understood? The force applied by the surface on the body to balance it, that will be called normal reaction force, and its direction will be opposite to the weight of the object. Understood? Next, you studied the example of tension. It is a common experience of our life. If we take a thread or a wire and one heavy object is tied with it, and if you suspend it in the air, you will see that the string will stretch because of the weight of the body. Due to the weight of the body, the string will apply a force on the body in upward direction to balance it. If a heavy object is suspended with a wire or a thread, it will be suspended in the air. It will not go down because the string is balancing the object. Say this one. Suppose this is the object, then in the string, in the opposite direction, the weight of the object will work downward. The force applied by the object will be downward. Then in the string, one force will be created in opposite to the weight of the object, which is called tension. That is the tension force. Understood? Next, you studied the spring force. This also I hope you have seen. If you take one spring, suppose from here it is fixed, and from here if you apply the force, then spring will try to come back. If you stress the spring, you feel some force applied by the string in opposite direction. If you push the spring in outward direction, then spring will try to stretch in inward direction. That is called restoring force or spring force. Similarly, if we compress the string, then spring will apply a force in outward direction. See here. Suppose the force on the spring is applied in inward direction, inside, then the restoring force will work in outside. And this force is called spring force. Understood what is the meaning of spring force? Now, one more example we have seen, that is the forces due to collision. So, very simply you can think, if two objects, suppose this is A, this is B. If object A and object B both are colliding each other, then both will apply the force on each other. If object A and B are colliding, then object A will apply the force on B and B will apply the force on A. Those forces will be called the forces due to collision. And all these are the example of contact forces. Understood? Now we are going to see the non-contact force. As we have seen, non-contact forces are those forces in which the object do not touch each other. They do not make any physical contact. So first example is the gravitational force. Children, the scientist Newton says that in the universe every objects are attracting each other. and those forces are called gravitational force. Even on the earth also, earth is attracting each object towards it. That is called the gravitational force. On the earth, gravitational force is equal to m into g, which is equal to the weight of the object. And in the universe, every objects are attracting each other. According to Newton, that attraction force is equal to capital G m1 into m2 upon r square. About this formula we will study later, but here you have to know this. Okay? Understood what is the meaning of gravitational force? In the universe, all the objects are attracting each other according to Newton. According to Newton, in the universe, all the objects are attracting each other by a force. That force is called universal gravitational force. Okay, and that force is equal to this one. On the earth is attracting every object towards it. That is equal to m into g. Okay. Next, non-contact force example is magnetic force. So children, we know that magnet attracts the iron towards it. If we take two magnets, then similar poles of the magnet repel each other and opposite poles of magnet attract each other. That force is called magnetic force. Okay? If you bring north, then both will be repelled by each other. If you bring south, then both will be repelled each other. But if you bring opposite poles together, then both will be attracted. Okay? That force is called magnetic force. Okay children, now we will see electrostatic force. Electrostatic force means forces between charges. Forces between charges. We know that there are two types of charges, positive charge and negative charge. And I hope you all have studied similar charges repel each other. Similar charges repel each other and opposite charges attracts each other. The forces between charges are called electrostatic forces. Okay, and this is the property. Similar charges repel each other, that means they are repulsive. Opposite charges attract each other, means attractive. Opposite charges are attractive. Okay, did you notice the special property of the non-contact force? General characteristics of non-contact force. Did you notice the special characteristics? The first, gravitational force is always attractive. It will never be repulsive. But magnetic and electrostatic, magnetic force and electrostatic forces are attractive and repulsive both. Okay, magnetic and electrostatic both can be repulsive also, both can be attractive also. Okay, now we will start the Newton's law. Newton has given 3 laws of motion. We will see one by one. Okay. See children, the next topic that we are going to study is inertia and Newton's law of motion. So first see what is the inertia. Children, if an object is in rest position, you will see that it is always in rest position until an external force is applied on it. If we do not apply the force, it will be always in rest position. So, it means this object has a property to maintain its position, and that property is called inertia. That means you can say that inertia is the inherent property of any object. If an object is in motion or if an object is in rest position, it will be always in rest position until an external force is applied on a body, and this property of the body is called inertia. Okay, so you can say that inertia is an inherent property of a body due to which it retains its shape or size or position. That means every object has a property to change its position, shape or size, and that property is called inertia. Understood what is the meaning of inertia? Now we can see the first law of motion. First law of motion. Because first law of motion is related to this property actually. That is why first law of motion is also called law of inertia. Because according to Newton, if an object is in rest position, if an object is in rest position, it will always remain in rest, and if an object is in motion position, it will always remain in motion until an external force is applied on it. This is called the first law of motion. This is called the first law of motion. Understood? If the object is in motion, it will always be in motion. If the object is in rest position, it will be object in rest position. This is called the first law of motion. Okay, you can see this is the inertia also. That is why there are two types of inertia. The first one is inertia of rest. Inertia of rest. If an object is in rest, it will be always in rest unless an external force is applied on it. A force is applied on it. This property of the object is called inertia of rest. I hope you have understood. If the body is in rest position, it will be always in rest position until an external force is applied. And this is the property of the object. So this property of the object will be called inertia of rest. And inertia of motion if an object is in motion, it will be always in motion. It will be always in motion unless an external force is applied. Unless an external force is applied on it. This property of the object, is called inertia of motion. Understood? You can see the example also. If you drive a bike, suppose you start the bike all of a sudden. If you start the bike all of a sudden, then bike goes forward and you turns back. Have you ever thought why does it happen? If you drive a bike and bike all of a sudden start and moves, then you bend backward. The reason is your lower part is in close contact with the bike. So as the bike moves, your lower part moves with that. But your upper part is still in the rest position. And because of inertia, it tries to keep itself in the rest position. That is why you turn back. Same happens with the passengers which are sitting in the bus. If bus stop the brakes, if the bus driver applies the brake, then bus stops, but you bend front side. What is the reason? Your lower part is stopped as the bus stops, but since your upper part is still in motion, and that is why it goes forward and you bend forward direction. Understood? That is because of inertia. Okay, now we will see the second law. Now we will study linear momentum and Newton's second law of motion. So first we will see what is the momentum. Linear momentum it is represented by small p and it is equal to the product of mass and velocity of the object. Means if an object is moving, then the linear momentum of a body is the product of mass and its velocity. Understood? It is the product of mass and velocity of the body. It is a vector quantity, children. Remember this point. And its unit is kilogram meter per second. Its SI unit is kilogram meter per second. Okay. Now, From this linear momentum, see, we are going to find something. What will be the change in momentum? Suppose that initial velocity is, a body is moving with initial velocity u. The mass of the body is m. Suppose a body having the mass m is moving with initial velocity u. After t time, suppose that after time t, the final velocity becomes v. In this case, the initial momentum will be suppose it is p1, so you can say it is m into u, because initial velocity is u, so initial momentum will be m into u. And what will be the final momentum? Suppose it is p2, then it will be equal to m into v. That means in time t, what will be change in momentum? In time t, what will be change in momentum? Suppose it is represented by delta p. This sign is red, delta. Delta shows the difference. It will be equal to p2 minus p1, or you can say that mv minus mu. From here, if you take m common, you can write m into v minus u. If this is the change in momentum, then what will be the rate of change of momentum? Rate of change. Rate of change of momentum will be change in momentum divided by time t. That is called the rate of change of momentum. Okay, that means delta p by t. Okay, now we know that change in rate of change in velocity v minus u upon t, that is equal to acceleration. V minus u is the change in velocity. When change in velocity is divided by time, that gives acceleration. And we also know that m into a is equal to force. It means you can see that the force is equal to rate of change in momentum. Are you watching this point? Rate of change of momentum. This is the second law of motion. According to Newton, the rate of change of momentum of a body is equal to the force applied on the body. So this is the second law of motion. Understood? What is the second law of motion? This is called the second law of motion. If you notice carefully, the second law of motion gives us the definition of force also. According to second law of motion, F is equal to m into a. That means force applied on a body is equal to product of mass of the body and acceleration produced on a body due to force. Force is equal to product of mass and acceleration produced in a body. This is the definition we are getting from second Newton's law of motion. You can write the statement yourself. According to Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of momentum is equal to the force applied on the body. Understood? In the next class, we will study the third law of motion and remaining things. Okay? Bye bye.